Windfall, wonderful honesty, run me win. Let's continue. Masturbation kills. Look at this. Fapping affects you mentally. We're talking about this thing that everybody says is, oh, it's okay. Let your kid do it unconstrained. Let him do it and let him talk around with his friends and do stuff they're not supposed to do. No. Masturbation, fapping affects you mentally. It creates a total preoccupation with self. It breeds pure selfishness. Sex is designed for a husband to please his wife, a wife to please her husband. That's why both of them get mutual together. A husband leave father, mother, cleaving to his wife. They come together. They produce a baby. I mean, sex is a very important thing, but it creates total preoccupation because it's just you pleasuring yourself. That's all it is. It creates selfishness. And that's how some people who actually practice masturbation for 8 years or whatever, and then when they become an adult and they're having sex with a woman, they've been self-pleasing themselves. So when they get with a girl, they're actually going out just to please themselves. There are people I've heard of and ran across who actually will go to bars and sleep with people because they are aroused. They are, and that's it. They're not doing that to bless that other person. It's all about them. That's what brothel houses were. You know, the man just wanted to have sex. So he just went and found the lady and had sex. It had nothing to do with her, has nothing to do with love, and it's self-preoccupation. It creates total self-preoccupation. That's what it does. So little Johnny's making himself happy in the bathroom. That's bad business. It opens the door to obsession. Children are always thinking about, you know, they can actually find themselves thinking about it constantly because they're doing something that they're supposed to be doing years from now with their wife, pleasuring. That's love, is selflessness. That's how you can tell when love is perverted, when misuse of the word, because they're supposed to be pleasuring their wife. It gives them pleasure to pleasure their wife. That's what it is. The wife, she gets pleasure from pleasuring her husband. And it's like they're working together. But this opens the doors to obsession. Now the little boy's thinking about every day. He's thinking about masturbating. Can't wait till the parents leave. Can't wait till mom gets, everyone goes to bed. Why? Because it opens up the door to obsession, especially for the little children who don't know what they're doing. And their parents say, go for it, buddy. Here's some alcohol. Go for it. Same thing. Here's drugs. There's nothing wrong with drugs, kid. Imagine those groups of people who fall into it and they're always thinking about it nonstop. So the boy's thinking about masturbation nonstop. And of course, physically, if he's thinking about it constantly, then that means he'll be aroused during school. He's watching stuff that talks about, well, boys, that's just junk from hell. All boys ain't thinking about sex. But if you got a boy or a girl listening to music and junk like that, it'll start creating trigger points. They'll wake up thinking about it. They'll see something. Now, the next thing you know, we'll talk about that later. But they'll see a girl and they'll just be aroused. Why? Because they've been masturbating constantly. And so when they see a girl, that's all they're thinking about is sex. Why? Because it turned into that. It wasn't natural like that. They just ended up, it opened up the door for them to be obsessed. This is where the crime of stalking and obsession. Stalking comes from obsession. You can't control your body. You can't control your mind. Obsession is one of the steps toward possession if you study the spirit realm. And so this kid's obsessed with masturbation. Then he gets obsessed with sex. And then what do you think about it? It's all about me. I want to be with you. I want you to be with me. I want to pleasure myself. If it makes me happy, I want to do it and I don't want you to interfere. That's how obsession and stalking happens, because they're not thinking about the other person. They want to fulfill their things. You've seen those TV shows where the boy or the girl is just like, I just got to be around them. I need to know what's going on in their life. It's obsession. And masturbation creates that. It also makes people alter their perceptions of relationships. If it's sexual pleasure is the primary sole function of a stable relationship. That's how sex is. I should say that better. It makes people alter perceptions of relationships as if sexual pleasure is the primary or sole function of a stable relationship. Sex ain't love, period. If sex was love, then the brothel house would be the most love-filled place on the planet. The pornographic site would be where we would send husbands and wives who have marital problems to fix it. If sex was love, then that's just completely stupid, and it's a lie. It's perverted, and that's just it. Sex don't mean love at all. Just because you want to have sex with somebody doesn't mean you love them. A man who's a boss and a lady who's a supervisor, they've been working for 15 years in the office, hours and hours and hours, and the devil suggests, hey, how about y'all have an affair? Does that mean they love each other? No. And then if you play around with sex and masturbation, you will accidentally think that physical attraction is love. That is not true. Physical attraction is not love. Period. Because you can be physically attracted to a harlot. You can be physically attracted to a male prostitute. You can be physically attracted to a singer. But that doesn't mean that you're in love with them. And see, that's how the messing with around sex, overdoing masturbate, all that stuff it can lead to literally alter your perception of relationships. That if your husband is not having sex with you enough, he must not love you. If he's, if you love me, you'll have sex with me. No, that's got nothing to do with that. See, you love me, you'll have sex with me. So you're already preoccupied yourself. You're immature. You're not mature enough to be in a stable relationship yet because all you're thinking about is yourself. You are aroused and you want to have sex. So it's time for your girlfriend to give it up or your boyfriend to give it up. So that's enough of that. Fapping affects you mentally. Live with me.